everyone! Today I'll be unboxing and taking a look at the Kaginado Season 2 Gente Wokaban Blu-ray. This is the limited edition luxury version and it comes with a Blu-ray disc of all of the episodes of Season 2. It comes with a special box, a special booklet written by the student council. Similarly to Season 1, this comes with a memorial arranged CD collection of reprinted, remastered versions of the Little Busters semi-crystalline arrange album, Rewrites Soil, and Angel Beats Holy album. These are digitally remastered versions of all of the arranged CDs that came with the original first press versions of each game. Season 1, which I didn't make a video of, I'm afraid, but Season 1 came with this one. This is the Season 1 Memorial Arranged CDs, which includes an Emascope, Orthanopter and Mabinogi from Canon, Air and Kaginado. And they do come with little cards. They do slip out quite easily, so I have them stored away in the actual box. It's really cool to see repressed versions of these CDs all this time later. The silhouettes of the new illustration by Naga and Hinoi Daru on the disc, and they look visually very nice as well. They come with little cards, so I'll be looking forward to seeing the Season 2 arranged CDs, especially since this one has semi-crystalline. It also comes with a set of postcards of all of the end cards from each episode, which is 11 in total, exactly the same as Season 1 where that came with all of Season 1's end cards. This one comes with Season 2's end cards, and again very similar to Season 1, this comes with a Torioroshi Radio CD, so it's a newly recorded rewrite radio which hasn't come out in a long time. Season 1 came with a newly recorded Little Busters R, which hadn't been around for so long and finally came back. That was one of the funniest episodes of Little Busters R that I've ever heard, partially because of the two guests that they had, which was Yoshino and Sunohara's seiyuu. It was so funny. I really recommend it, but I'm very much looking forward to hearing this one as well because that was just absolutely hilarious. And finally, the same as Season 1, it comes with a newly drawn illustration on an acrylic panel, which is drawn by Hinoi Daru and Naga. So of course Hinoi Daru has drawn this freelance for Key. It's very nice to see her drawing her old characters again. This panel is quite unique in the way that you can layer it over the Season 1 panel. So the idea is that there are gaps in between the characters and it creates one full illustration when put over the Season 1 illustration. You can also pick which background you like as well. So Season 2 has a blue background with not really much apart from just the shadows of the trees, whereas Season 1 has a full-on background of everyone walking to school. You can pick which one you'd prefer. I ordered my copy of Kaginado from Rakuten Books, specifically since I wanted this pre-order bonus. I waited a little bit just to see if any names would pop up, since they tend to not put up photos of the various bonuses and things until much later. So I just waited for some names. I wasn't really too fussed about what the illustration would look like, as long as it's of a character I like. Unlike Season 1, where for some reason there were no bonuses of the boys, which was quite strange. This time they actually did make a pre-order bonus of Kyosuke. I'm not too sure why these two were put together, apart from the fact that their name begins with K, but regardless, I'm very happy that Kyosuke actually got a tokuten this time. So these are two cam badges and then two acrylic keychains as well, and they just look like this. So there's of course Kyosuke from Little Busters, and this is blue since the Little Busters Kaginado goods tend to have a blue colour. Not sure why, since it was made official that Little Busters colour is orange, but I think blue is much nicer regardless. And then we have Kagari from Rewrite. Again, I'm not sure why these two were put together. Maybe just two characters beginning with K. There were lots of other characters that could easily fit into that, so I'm not too sure why it was these two, but I do really like these two, so I'm quite happy with these. The cover of the box, of course, is just the Season 2 key visual of Kaginado. As we all know, Angel Beats was added into Kaginado for Season 2. We have Yuripe in the middle with all the other characters surrounding her. In particular, I remember when this first was put up, seeing Riki and Rin together with Piro and Reno and Doruji all together pretending to be cats. I thought that was really good, so I really like that that's on the key visual. And this box is very much reminiscent of a typical full-priced eroge box or normal visual novel box. And also, it's really big. It's the same size as the season 1 box. It's actually a lot larger than your typical eroge box. It's pretty big, so you could use it to store other things if you take everything out as well. But it looks very nice side by side with the season 1 box, I think. On the back, you can see that it says とどまることを知らないキーのクロスオーバーワールド. And then, of course, the synopsis for Kaginado Season 2, which is set in Shiritsu Kaginado Gakuen. It's really nice that we have the cafe illustrations of everyone together at the back there. Kaginado did have quite a few collaboration cafes, which was great to see. We also have Sora there as well, along with some dango and chibimosu, starting from episode 13 all the way up until the end, which is episode 24. We have all of the titles of each episode there, and also just some stills from the various episodes, and in particular my favourite still of the entire series of Kaginado is on here, so that's great. Just the one where Masato, Kengo, Kyosuke are going crazy over Riki, so this is a really cool thing to see on the back of the box. And the actual box looks just like this, which has a lid. It has a lid the exact same as season 1. And once opened, it looks like this, so you can see the Blu-ray disc there, along with the 3 cards that I mentioned just earlier. So these are for the Arrange albums, and they just slot inside and give you the date of which they were released. We have the Blu-ray disc, which uses the exact same key visual as the box. We have the end cards, and all of them look like this once they're opened. My favourite in particular is the fact that we got a Kyosuke and Riki end card. That made my day when that happened. It was really cool to see that as an end card for a change instead of just one of the girls. And here we have the Radio Rirai to Gekkan Tera Kazamatsuri Gakuin Shikyoku radio CD. And the art for this is really nice. This is Kotori, Yurippe and Haruka, and of course Kotaro at the back as well. This is the CD at the back. So I'll be looking forward to listening to this later. And taking a look underneath, we have a few more things. So this is the panel, and it comes with its own background, so you can use this one or the season 1 version. You do need the season 1 panel for this to make sense, since otherwise Kanade is just looking at no one. And seeing Ring actually use the school bag that was a part of the original Little Busters designs, I think from the anime version, not from the game version. I'm pretty sure it was the anime team that came up with the bags. I was really excited to see Naga actually draw Rin with the school bag. Kagari has her key kohi as well. Interestingly, the Memorial Arrange collection this time is blue. I prefer blue in the first place. The brown was more vintage looking in a way. I like that this one is blue, since these games aren't as old as Canon, Clannad and Air, so it's nice to see that they're slightly different in design with the box. And the KSL number for these are 40 to 42, since there are 3 discs inside. And last but not least, we have the booklet. This is the Kaginado Gakuen Seitokai Hokokusho, which is this time being written by Tachibana Kanade, so obviously one of the Angel Beats characters, since that's the main focus for season 2, is the fact that Angel Beats joined, and it's her comments on the various daily happenings at the Kaginado school. So I'll be looking forward to reading this. Last time it was written by Shizuru from Rewrite, so it'll be interesting to see the differences. We have some art from various parts of the show. And Fishu Saito. And it even has the voice actors there as well, so that's nice. And it also has the episode numbers that they appear in as well. So that's really cool to see, so you can look up your favourite side character and watch that episode specifically. And the one and only Cupbear was actually in the show, which was insane. And the picture for Potato the picture for Potato is peeing on Kurugaya, I think. And we've got some Clannad characters, Little Busters characters, Kyosuke singing the opening, Riki in the Gao Gao Stegosaurus shirt, A-chan senpai, Doruji It's quite interesting seeing some of these characters that would just never have appeared otherwise. We have Giru and Pani from me right there. And of course we have Kuzuya and Hoshino Yumemi, and just some various episodes along with Tenshi's comments on each of them. And she even has her hanko saying Tachibana on there. That's quite interesting. Minna no himitsu. It's everyone's secrets. I'm not really sure what's so secret about their design, but okay. This is cool. So we actually had Yoshino perform Love and Spanner for the first time. I mean, we didn't really hear it, but this made me happy enough to see this poster and him on the stage. We have the bus in comparison to Sunohara. That's a bit of a weird way to check the size, but it's very key-like. We also have some settings, so we have the various school grounds and rooms, and we also have an album. So this is of various illustrations that were used outside of the show. This is the ending cut. We also have various designs here that we use. This made me really happy when this was put up before the episode 15 aired. Michiru and Makoto are my favorite characters of all time. If Little Busters didn't exist, these would be my number 1 and number 2. To see these two together out of everyone was really nice for me. Michiru in particular, she obviously doesn't get very much, so it was really nice to see her again. This is amazing. I want something of this on my wall. This is great as well. So we've got Hinata, Yoshino and Masato. Just seeing all these characters together, it's so good. Kaginado's really good. I really hope that we get a season 3. This one's a nice one as well. This is for the Saishukai of all the boys, all the protagonists. And again, the same as season 1, we have 3 dango on the side underneath the lid. Taking a look at the Key Memorial Arranged Collection Volume 2, which includes Little Busters, rewrites, and of course Angel Beats First Beat, we have the silhouettes of the illustrations. So left to right, we have Little Busters Semi-Crystalline. This is a digital remaster of all of the tracks. It's very nice to see Dean's illustration on here. Then we have Soil and also Holy, and in each of these, the cards just slot in. Something I would like to point out is the cards. The cards for season 1 as well were the same, where the discs themselves are gold and so are the cards, and they're ever so slightly sparkly, which I think is really nice. They look very professional. It's nice to see them go back and remember these albums and remaster them and then have a card showing the original. It's a nice way as well. I think maybe anyone knew that maybe there's a game that they haven't played but they still watched Kaginado and bought the Blu-ray. It's a nice way for them to maybe discover the album if they don't have the original one from the game. And on the backs of each card it has the track list as well. So this is a really nice way to show the track list and also the original album artwork without actually including it as a CD. Holy in particular, I'd like to mention that this was quite different to Key's usual first press arranged albums, where it was actually a piano arranged album specifically. It was just quite interesting to see everything be piano rather than the usual arranges that come on Key's games. And here is how it looks all put together. These cards do fall out very easily, so I recommend being wary of that in case they drop out. But it looks really nice even just on display. With these CDs, they've obviously really focused on the actual visuals for these CD as well as the insides, which is the digital remaster. As for the acrylic panel, this is of course of the remaining main heroines that weren't on the season 1 panel, so that was Ayu, Misuzu and Nagisa. This now has Kanade, Rin and Kagari on the panel and comes with its own background like I mentioned before. I actually prefer this background just because I really like being able to see the characters clearly and the fact that it's slightly blue. The other one is really nice as well, but I just think that this one really accents the characters more and makes them easier to see. Here I have the original season 1 acrylic panel, and you do need to have this panel for it to actually stand as a panel, since it does not come with the metal parts to stand it up in season 2's one. They expect you to have bought season 1, so this is not a standalone product or something that's meant to be bought on its own. You're meant to put it over the top of season 1. Inside comes with both the background and the character acrylic, and you can pick and choose between which background you'd prefer to use. I will try out both just to show them, but then I think ultimately I'm going to be displaying it with this one since I prefer the colour. So once you have unscrewed the season 1 panel from its stands, you can just place the character panel over. It'll look something like this. So this looks really nice. It's actually a really interesting idea that there are multiple layers, and also you can choose the background as well, and the characters potentially if you wanted to. This is the background combination I've decided to go with. I really do like the school ones since of course they are meant to be going to school. Of course they all are with their school bags and in school uniform, and I just thought with this background it's a lot easier to see the characters from far away and they stand out more, and the background itself is more vibrant and saturated. I'm really pleased that they went for this layered panel where you collect the layers between seasons and then you can choose the background as well. This looks really good. And overall, that is everything that comes with Kaginado Season 2 Gente Gogaban Blu-ray. Kaginado, it's very sad that it has ended, but seeing the ending that we got makes me wonder whether they'll continue it. And I mean, it did say see you next time at the end, so it doesn't seem like it's completely over. Very excitingly as well, through Kaginado we managed to finally get a Kamio Misuzu Nendoroid. I think a lot of people didn't know about Kaginado or understand what it is, or the fact that she is a new Misuzu voiced by Asami-san, voice of Dejiko. So that's really exciting, and just to see Misuzu being revived with a new voice, same with Sayuri as well of course, was really exciting. And I think people maybe misunderstood why the Kaginado Misuzu is so important. Obviously it would have been nice to see Misuzu and Android for the 20th anniversary of Air. For some reason Good Smile decided to miss that, and the key 10th girls, all 5 of them including Dean and Komari, will be together. This was such a great show, especially as a Key fan. If you've played all of the games, every single little reference is so well put together. Some of the episodes had me crying with laughter, and they're only 5 minutes long, and yet they managed to pack so much into that 5 minutes that make you remember so many things from these games. And not only that, I mean, they brought back characters that don't even have voice actors anymore or haven't been around since the game's released. For example, Kappe, who was completely neglected for a long time, so to see him there was amazing. To see Angel Beats come back in a way is amazing, because the games obviously didn't, 6 volumes didn't come to be. I hope to see another season sometime in the future. Seems like it's possible, but not for a while obviously. Raiden Films did a fantastic job at recreating all of the characters' little quirks and design traits and everything, despite them all being made into smaller form. Just a delight to watch. I'm very, very pleased that this happened, and it's great for Key fans who get to see all of their favourite characters actually communicate with each other despite them being from different worlds. And even things like the digital remasters of these albums, that wouldn't have happened if it hadn't have been for Kaginado. Kaginado has brought a lot of things that I'm very grateful for. Figures and goods and illustrations, revived radio shows that didn't come back for years, remastered versions of very old albums. I don't know what more you could want, so I'm very, very grateful to Key and all of the staff working on this show for putting this together. I know that it's a massive pain to get all of these voice actors back to reprise roles. Some of them reprised roles that they haven't done since the recording of the game or show. That was insane to see. I'm really, really impressed. My personal hope is that there was an episode where it was just all Suzuki Keiko characters, that everyone was saying that there should be a Midorika Hikaru episode as well, considering he voices so many characters. So that would be cool to see if there was a season 3. That was everything in this box. Definitely worth it if you are a fan of Key. Definitely worth it. I just recommend having season 1 as well, because this stand is really nice, and I recommend actually having things to stand it up on, otherwise you'll be left with just some plastic. Please consider both versions of Kaginado Season 1 and Season 2. Definitely worth picking up if you haven't already. The things that come inside, especially the radio CDs. I need to say, my favourite thing out of the whole Blu-ray is the CDs of the radio show. They are so funny, and to hear some of these voice actors come back to radios that they haven't done in all these years is amazing. I definitely recommend it for that reason alone. Thank you very much for watching until the end of the video. I hope it wasn't too long and boring, and I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Bye!